The following clip was recorded inside Kyle's house, a place we've featured several times on this channel. For the past few weeks, things have been unusually quiet, but as many people familiar with paranormal cases will tell you, long quiet periods don't always mean the activity is gone. Sometimes they mean something is building up. One morning, Kyle woke up to the sound of voices coming from somewhere inside his house. Watch closely. At first, he did what most people would do. He searched the house room by room, trying to find a logical source. No TV was on, no phone, no neighbors, nothing that could explain what he was hearing. But when he reached the basement door, things became even more unsettling. Viewers who analyzed the clip claim they heard a young girl's voice whispering, "He's coming." But Kyle doesn't have any children, and no kids were anywhere near the house at the time. Several people urged Kyle not to respond verbally, especially not in the moment, a common warning when unexplained voices are heard, as acknowledging them is believed by some to strengthen the activity. For now, Kyle hasn't been able to explain what he heard that morning, just a voice that shouldn't have been there, and a house that, after weeks of silence, suddenly felt very. In this next video, a security guard shares more updates from his workplace, a place where strange figures have been showing up far too often to ignore. In earlier clips, he documented unexplained figures passing, and he thought it was going to be a one-off activity, but it happened again. One night during his shift, he noticed a white figure moving through the building once again. Instead of brushing it off, he decided to stand up and follow it, hoping to finally get a clearer look. Watch closely.
The storm is so bad that ghost had to go upstairs. Look at the bottom right. Look. There you go. Look at that. It was cold. I'm like, oh shit. I wanted to follow it and feel. See, I'm trying to feel, like, follow the cold breeze. I saw it going towards the elevator. So I went there. It was actually a cold breeze towards the elevator, then it just stopped. So I'm like, damn. Shit. So I walked back, thinking the motherfucker was gone. I guess it didn't want me to follow it. So I'm like, okay. Then something touched me. I'm like, what the? Something touched me. I'm still trying to see, like, where is it at? Like, it vanished, so how is it still touching me or something? I don't know. It's creepy. So I'm like, okay. Well, at least I saw it and followed it for a little moment. Then it want to vanish. I'm like, oh, yeah. I was like, go ahead and take your ass upstairs and get warm.
Aside from briefly touching him, there haven't been any violent attacks, scratches, or aggressive behavior. This led many to believe this could be a non-hostile or friendly spirit, possibly unaware of its surroundings or simply repeating a routine it once had in life. But it happened again. On another night shift, the guard spotted the same faint white figure again, only this time it came through the door. And as the figure moved closer, he described feeling a sudden cold breeze, even though the building's temperature hadn't changed. Have a look.
I saw that motherfucker again. Just look real close. Just look. It's coming from the door, from outside. See it? It's faint. It's real faint. I'm looking at it. I'm like, hold on, let me feel if it's real. It's real. It's cold too. When I put my hand up there by it, it's real cold. Then it went back there towards the door, all the way back there in the back. I'm like, whoa. I wanted to see it went close to me or some shit. I'm like, oh, so ghosts, because ghosts do give out like a cold chill, like when you put like it's like a cold breeze there. I'm like, okay. Shit, I saw it came from outside too. I'm like, damn. And I wasn't even freaked out. I just wanted to see how it felt. I was like, that motherfucker cold in the mud. So I saw it. That shit is crazy, man. It's been a while since I've seen this, so like I said, it come every now and then, but you have to look real hard though, real hard to see it. It came from here, and it went real slow. Just look real hard when you rewind the video.
In paranormal belief, sudden cold spots are often associated with spirits because it's said they draw energy from their surroundings to manifest or move. Many claim that when a temperature drops without explanation, it can signal a spirit passing through or attempting to interact. Despite multiple encounters, the figure has never spoken, it hasn't shown its face, and it hasn't revealed why it keeps appearing in the same workplace night after night. Until more updates are shared, this case remains unsolved. Now, this next video is about David, the man who bought a doll and almost immediately realized he'd made a serious mistake. At first, David believed the activity was tied directly to the doll, so he did what many advised. He locked it inside a cage and placed a Bible on top, hoping that would contain whatever presence was attached to it. But the activity in his house didn't stop. In fact, many viewers believe that while the doll may have acted as a trigger, whatever came with it may have already spread throughout the house long before it was locked away. One night, around 4 a.m., David woke up to get some work done, but as he finished and was about to head to bed, he began hearing something that immediately put him on edge. Listen closely.
Están escuchando, ¿no? Son pasos, esos son pasos. Y los estoy escuchando, ya van 2 veces que los escucho. Entonces la segunda vez dije, ok, termino de hacer la cama y empiezo a grabar. Ok, ya escucharon, ¿no? Bueno. Entonces, ¿por qué tengo la luz así? Porque me duermo con la luz de rojo, y ya está. Y para los que digan, ay, esas cruces que no sé qué, son adornos, nada más. Entonces, y encendí la luz del celular, ¿ok? Porque ahorita todo está apagado. ¿Qué voy a hacer? Ahí se escucha. A ver.
It sounded unmistakably like footsteps, and David was completely alone. In the same video, David addresses something many commenters had been focusing on: the red lighting in his room and the crosses on the wall. He explains that the red light helps him sleep, and the crosses are simply decorative ornaments, not ritualistic, not symbolic. But viewers aren't convinced. Many argued that red lighting is often associated with heightened emotional states or altered perception, while others insisted that symbolic objects, even when decorative, can still act as spiritual triggers, especially in an already active environment. Trying to locate the source of the noise, David followed the sound, and it didn't surprise anyone when the footsteps led him straight to the room where the doll was locked. But what shocked viewers most wasn't the room. It was what appeared just before he reached it: a face, barely visible, peeking out from the darkness, watching him. That single moment escalated everything. because now there were 3 separate concerns: the doll locked in the cage, the red light, and the cross ornaments, and now a visible presence that wasn't hiding anymore. David shared that this wasn't the first time he heard footsteps. One night while he was home alone, he heard footsteps so convincing that he genuinely believed someone had broken into his house. Have a look.
Se escuchó que alguien venía así hacia mí. Y fue cuando cerré la puerta.
After that incident, viewers advised him to prepare for the next time it happened, specifically by using talcum powder, a method some believe can reveal unseen movement through footprints. So when it happened again, David knew exactly what to do. Watch this carefully.
Talco para pies. No me importa usarlo todo. Bueno, amigas, bueno, amigos, así quedó. Ya está. No fue mucho lo que quedaba. Ya se vació esto. Voy a dejarlo así, qué sé yo, toda la tarde y toda la noche de mañana. A ver qué pasa. Es decir, en 24 horas reviso. Ya está. Antes de voy a encender la luz de esto. Todo eso está el talco, ¿ok? Sí se ve bien creepy, ¿no? Ah, cosa curiosa. El rosario de la Biblia ya no... A ver, así. Ya no encuentro el rosario de la Biblia. Y si se dan cuenta, la muñeca se volvió a mover.
As he pours the powder, something else happens. A voice can be heard. And for those familiar with David's story, this voice is disturbingly familiar. From the very beginning, David has described hearing a voice that sounds distressed, sometimes crying, sometimes calling his name, sometimes sounding like it's asking for forgiveness, as if whatever is there isn't just present, but suffering. Then, David noticed something else. The doll had changed position inside the cage, and the rosary he'd placed on top of the Bible was gone. At this point, even viewers couldn't agree on what was truly responsible. Some still blame the doll, others insist the house itself may already be haunted. A few believe it's the environment, the lighting, the symbols, the attention, feeding whatever is there. And then there's the face, because once something is watching you, it's no longer contained. So what do you think is causing all of this? The doll, the red light, the crosses, or the house itself? You be the judge. In the following video, a woman shares footage after more than 2 weeks of unsettling experiences, incidents that have slowly pushed her toward one frightening conclusion, that something may have attached itself to her. Watch this carefully.
I'm recording this to see if I can catch it on camera this time, but I'm home alone for the night and I swear I've been hearing noises. Usually this happens, but this time it happens. Please tell me that you can hear it.
To a lot of people, this might not be a classic attachment case. Attachments usually don't begin loudly, they start subtly. A constant feeling of being watched, sudden emotional shifts that don't feel like your own, exhaustion that doesn't improve with rest, recurring intrusive thoughts, vivid dreams involving the same presence, or a heavy sensation in the chest or shoulders, as if something is always nearby. So this might be something else, a mimic. Mimic cases often present differently. Instead of targeting emotions or energy first, mimics focus on imitation. They copy familiar voices, repeat phrases the person has heard before, and create situations designed to provoke a response. And that's where the most important rule comes in. The number one rule when dealing with a mimic is this: do not respond and do not acknowledge it in any way. No speaking back, no calling out, no asking questions, no reacting emotionally. Sometimes, while attachments tend to drain and linger quietly, mimics provoke, and once they're acknowledged, they rarely stop. Until more updates are shared, the situation remains deeply unsettling. Now, in this next video, a man is simply giving his friends and family a tour of his new apartment. Nothing unusual, just a quick walkthrough to show the space. But he captured something terrifying. Take a look. It wasn't until one of his friends decided to slow the video down and examine each room more carefully that something disturbing stood out. As he walks past one of the rooms, there appears to be a woman standing still, facing the window. She doesn't move and she didn't turn. The man insists he was completely alone while filming. No roommate, no visitor. Viewers quickly began analyzing the footage frame by frame. Some believe it could be a reflection or a trick of lighting, but others pointed out that the figure appears to have depth and form, standing in a spot where no mirror or reflective surface should be. The posture is also unsettlingly natural, like someone quietly observing the outside world. So, what do you do when your new apartment already has someone living rent-free in it? I'd love to hear your thoughts on this one. This next video was captured by Nate, a man whose dog has been trying to warn him that something isn't right inside the house. One night, while Nate was home alone watching TV, this happened. Watch closely.
So I'm here watching football, and this light keeps going on and off. I was just up there going to the bathroom. Like, I checked the bulb, and the switch is right there. It just started doing this.
If it's just the lights turning on and off, some might say he's overreacting. Electrical issues happen, but when you factor in everything else that's already happened in this house, the situation becomes much harder to dismiss. We've heard whispers underneath several of Nate's past videos, faint, low, and not coming from the TV. There's also the clip where a knife was thrown across the room, even though no one was standing near it. And then there's his dog, who refuses to go into certain corners of the house, freezing in place, growling, or leaving the room altogether. And when multiple signs start stacking up, sound, movement, objects being thrown, and an animal clearly reacting, it begins to feel like something is escalating. For now, Nate hasn't been able to explain what's going on inside his home. So until more answers or updates surface, this one remains completely unsolved. Now in this next clip, popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian returns to what many locals consider the most haunted house in Minnesota, the infamous Boyd House. The home belonged to the Ehart family, Fred and Minnie, and was originally built back in 1901. As Ian entered one of the rooms, something immediately caught his attention. A light suddenly turned on by itself. At that moment, Ian knew he needed answers. Was this Fred, Minnie, or something else entirely? So he began asking questions.
Minnie, was that you that I heard earlier? Making all those noises? Turning on that closet light? Was that you? I feel them moving again. Thank you. I think they uncrossed. I hope you don't mind me visiting. It is a lovely place. You know, I keep coming back for a reason, right? What the heck was that? That sounded like a female voice, almost. It was like really faint. Minnie, is that you? There it is again. Okay. That is really, really spooky sounding. It sounds like a woman, like humming. Like,
Was that Minnie, the former owner many believe still wanders the house, known for moving objects and interacting with the environment? Or has something else found its way into the Boyd house, drawn in by years of attention and investigations? This footage dates back to August 2025 and was captured by a security camera inside a family home. A woman who's been fighting a slow, exhausting mystery within her own walls. One that didn't begin with terror, but with small things that felt off. At first, it was easy to ignore. Toys would turn up in strange places, nowhere near where her child left them. Doors she distinctly remembers locking the night before would be standing open by morning. But what unsettled her most was something harder to explain. Every now and then, the house would suddenly fill with a smell. Sharp, sterile, like medicine, or cold metal, with no source she could identify. For nearly 3 years, she tried to approach it rationally, but nothing stopped the feeling that something wasn't right. Eventually, she installed security cameras throughout the house and began checking the footage whenever she could. On August 23rd, 2025, the cameras finally captured something she wasn't prepared for. The first clip was recorded while her young son was asleep and she was taking a bath. The second clip is even stranger. It was early in the morning, and if you pay close attention, you'll notice that she enters the frame from the opposite direction the figure had just been moving, meaning whatever appears on camera wasn't following her. It was already there. She's hoping someone could help debunk it or point her toward a real explanation. So, what do you think? The following video was captured by CCTV inside a hospital, a place that never truly sleeps. Even late at night, the halls are filled with quiet movement. Nurses checking vitals, machines humming softly, families drifting in and out of wards. But on this particular night, something else may have been moving too. You can see what appears to be the figure of a small child, standing completely still. It doesn't move toward anyone, it doesn't react, it simply stands there, as if waiting. Moments later, the parents of one of the patients walk directly through the figure, and they clearly have no idea anything unusual just happened. Hospitals are often described as some of the most active locations when it comes to unexplained encounters. They're places where fear, grief, hope, and loss all exist at the same time, and many believe that kind of emotional weight leaves something behind. So, was this just a trick of shadows and lighting, or did the camera capture something most people walk past every day, without ever knowing it's there? This footage dates back to 2018 and was captured by a security camera inside a man's store. The store itself is an open-air garage with nearly 20-foot high ceilings, wide open space, and clear sight lines, the kind of place where movement is hard to miss. That afternoon, the owner was alone in his store when this happened. Out of nowhere, his sunglasses drop to the floor. At first glance, it might seem harmless. Maybe they fell off a shelf or were knocked over. But when he reviewed the CCTV footage, he realized something terrifying. No one walked in, nothing passed by. There was no gust of wind, no vibration, and no visible cause. The sunglasses didn't slide or tip over. It flew, as if it had been thrown. Many suggest the possibility of an unseen presence interacting with the environment, something strong enough to move a physical object, yet invisible to the camera. And in a wide open space like this, with nowhere to hide, that possibility becomes even harder to ignore. What do you think happened here? A freak accident, or something watching him work, waiting for the moment to make itself known? You be the judge. In this next video, a man who owns a Mexican seafood restaurant began noticing strange, almost unexplainable movements inside his business. At first, it was easy to brush them off. Small things that could be blamed on long hours, exhaustion, or simple coincidence. Glasses weren't where they were left. Items behind the bar seemed slightly out of place. And sometimes, there was the unsettling feeling that something had moved when no one was nearby. At first, he didn't think much of it, but that changed once the security cameras started catching things he just couldn't understand. In the first video, the man is about to serve a drink, and if you look closely at the tray, one of the shot glasses suddenly moves on its own. He notices it, pauses for a moment, then brushes it off, assuming he imagined it. But the activity didn't stop there. Another clip shows one of the bartenders holding a bottle when, without warning, the neck of the bottle snaps clean off in his hand. Then comes another piece of footage. A bottle shifting on its own, sliding without anyone touching it. At this point, some might argue it only happens during busy working hours. Vibrations, movement, people nearby. But the most unsettling moment comes later, when the restaurant is completely closed. The security camera records creepy audio, faint whispers, low voices, sounds that shouldn't be there when the place is empty. Now the staff can't help but wonder whether these are just a series of bizarre coincidences, or signs that something else may be sharing their restaurant with them. Is it too early to call it haunted, or is this exactly the moment they should start paying closer attention and looking for answers? A woman named Mel and her family had just left their house for a quiet weekend getaway when her phone suddenly buzzed with a Ring camera notification, one that shocked the living daylight out of her. Watch this. On the footage, something or someone opens the front door, allowing her dogs to walk outside freely. What makes this unsettling is that when Mel checked the indoor cameras, there was no one visible inside the house. The door simply opens. Imagine being miles away from a home you're certain you locked, only to watch it open on its own. At that moment, Mel's biggest concern wasn't even the door, it was her dogs. She immediately called her neighbors and asked them to help. Thankfully, they were able to get the dogs safely back inside. Needless to say, that weekend getaway ended right there. This terrifying footage was captured by a nearby house security camera. A guy had just arrived at his mom's place and stepped out of his car to offload a few things, but the camera caught something he didn't notice at the time. You'll see what looks like a human figure walking slowly out of the woods. At first glance, it's easy to miss, but as the figure approaches the car, it suddenly bows down, and then drops straight out of sight, disappearing completely. That's where the speculation begins. People say this could be a phantom person, a phenomenon many believe isn't a myth at all, but something that's been reported for centuries. Stories describe these figures as appearing briefly, often near roads, trees, or homes, only to vanish in ways that don't match human movement. Some say phantom people aren't spirits in the traditional sense, but residual figures, moments caught between time, replaying fragments of something that once happened there. So what do you think? A coincidence caught at the wrong moment, or something ancient and very real stepping briefly into view? This footage dates back to 2017, when a woman was simply trying to get some work done, but whatever was in the room with her clearly wasn't ready to let her focus. At first, the security camera captures something subtle. The chair shifts slightly. It's easy to dismiss. Chairs move sometimes, but then it slides farther than it should, before slowly drifting back into place, almost carefully. And when that didn't get her attention, whatever was there escalated. An object close to her, a bottle on the table, suddenly tips over and falls. That finally makes her react. She looks up, clearly confused, trying to make sense of what just happened. But it doesn't stop there. Moments later, her own chair is pulled backward, forcefully enough to break the illusion of coincidence entirely. This wasn't something falling, this wasn't gravity, this was interaction. And here's the detail that unsettles many viewers the most. If you increase the brightness of the footage, you can see what appears to be a faint silhouette moving backward in sync with the chair, as if something unseen is physically pulling it away from her. So here's the question that stays with viewers long after the clip ends. Was this something trying to frighten her, or something that had been there all along, finally making sure she noticed? You decide. The following footage was captured by a CCTV camera inside a local store late at night, long after the doors had been locked and everyone had gone home. Almost immediately, the internet split into debate. Some say it's nothing more than a draft, a random gust of air moving the toy across the floor. But skeptics were quick to point out how unlikely that explanation is. The toy doesn't slide or tip over. It rolls smoothly, almost as if it's being guided. Others suggested the toy had been left switched on, and that a faulty motor caused it to move on its own. On paper, that sounds reasonable. But here's where the explanation starts to fall apart. According to the store owner, the toy hadn't been touched for hours, and the store was completely empty at the time. What unsettled many viewers even more was the way the wheels moved. Several people slowed the footage down frame by frame, pointing out that the motion didn't look random or jerky. It looked controlled, like someone was pushing it just enough to make it roll. Locals familiar with the store claim strange things have been happening there for years, items falling from shelves when no one is nearby, and faint footsteps heard after closing hours. So, what do you think? Was this nothing more than physics and a malfunctioning toy? Or did the security camera accidentally capture something unseen, quietly passing the time, playing with a toy when it thought no one was watching? This footage was captured by a security camera installed in a basement. One evening, the homeowner went downstairs to grab a few things when he got distracted by a message on his phone. He sat down, unaware that the camera behind him was recording something he wouldn't notice until much later. Out of nowhere, the calendar is ripped off the wall. 2 pages tear clean through as it comes down, and when he checked the wall afterward, the nail was still firmly in place. Even stranger, when he picked the calendar back up and tried to hang it again, the hole lined up perfectly with the nail, meaning the paper didn't stretch, tear open, or rip downward the way it normally would if gravity alone caused it to fall. Some viewers pointed out the dog's reaction, or lack of one. Instead of barking or panicking, the dog simply moves away, as if giving space to something it sensed but didn't want to confront. What do you think? A man's brother came to stay over for a few days, and just a few hours after settling into the house, he had the feeling someone was shifting the bed in the guest room. He brushed it off, but as the night went on, the details stopped adding up. Eventually, the man decided to go back through the family's CCTV footage to see if anything unusual had been captured. Something was moving. But here's the problem. This is at least a queen-size bed, and his brother's wife is noticeably shorter, and from her sleeping position, her legs shouldn't even reach that far. Yet in the footage, her left leg flicks sharply and unnaturally, far faster and farther than would be possible for someone side sleeping in that position. So is something sharing the bed with them? You be the judge. This mysterious video was posted on Reddit, and ever since, people have gone into overdrive trying to analyze what they're seeing. While a family was out for the evening, with no one left behind in the house, their security camera captured something completely horrifying. What appears in the footage looks disturbingly like a small child walking through the house. When the family received a motion alert and checked the footage, they were immediately shaken. There were no children in the home and no pets. When they returned, still trying to rationalize what they'd seen, they reached out to the previous owners to ask if they had ever experienced anything strange while living there. That's when things got worse. The former occupants responded by sending their own video, footage from their Ring camera showing multiple orbs drifting around the property at night. They admitted they'd always felt like something was in the house with them. Then came another disturbing detail. The previous owners said their time in the house was marked by constant arguments, tension that seemed to come out of nowhere. Eventually, their marriage collapsed and they divorced, selling the house shortly after. Sadly, at the time this ghost child video was posted, the new owners were also in the middle of a divorce. And just like before, the house had gone back on the market. Different families, same house, same feeling, same ending. So is this just an unsettling coincidence? Or is there something about that house that doesn't let families stay whole? You decide. In the following video, Kyle was filming, talking excitedly about publishing his upcoming horror novel, when something happened that instantly shifted the tone. Watch.
Two agents, they got enough for me. Holy shit. That just opened by itself. Okay. Yo. That just opened. It just opened by itself. We're gonna... And this broke. This broke. Okay, maybe that's for the best. Oh, that scared the shit out of me. I'm gonna have a freaking heart attack. That string broke. Well, that's just fine because I'm never going up there again.
That door leading to the attic? It's the same attic where he's captured strange figures, unexplained bangs, footsteps pacing above his room, and even whispering voices when no one else was home. So when the door creaked open behind him in the middle of his recording, many viewers became convinced it wasn't a coincidence at all, that something up there was inviting him, or trying to get his attention. Others, meanwhile, are eagerly waiting for his book, especially because they know his stories aren't just fiction. A lot of them are based on real events, things he has personally lived through in that house. People are already speculating about which moments he'll write about, and how he managed to cope with everything he's been experiencing. But until Kyle gives an update, or until the release of that book, this remains yet another unsettling moment in a house that refuses to stay quiet. Now, in this next video, a woman named Monica Monch, who works after hours in an office building that's completely empty at night, holidays, and weekends, has been experiencing something she can no longer brush off. One night, while she was doing her usual rounds, this happened.
I'm at work. I'm the only person here. And I hear. Oh my god, I'm scared. The scary movie says you don't go see what's going on. But what the I'm gonna lose my goddamn shit. Okay, I'm gonna die.
A voice said, "What are you thinking?" even though she was the only one in the entire building. And then there was the toy she picked up to inspect, thinking maybe it had batteries, but it didn't. It only makes noise if someone physically touches it. Yet in the video, it activates all on its own, as if an invisible hand was playing with it right next to her. This clip has caused a huge debate online. Some people are convinced Monica is dealing with something otherworldly, something intelligent. To them, a voice responding directly to her and a toy working on its own feels far too specific and intentional to dismiss as coincidence. And with the security guards reportedly hearing similar things, many believe whatever's in that office isn't just passing through, it's trying to communicate. But it's hard not to wonder if Monica has become the center of something she was never meant to notice. Until she shares more footage, this case remains a mystery. Now, this next video comes from a woman who recently ended things with her boyfriend, but according to her, the breakup didn't end the story. In fact, she believes it only made things worse. She claims her ex had something dark attached to him, something his family openly acknowledged. And once she heard them speak about it so casually, so normally, that's when she started connecting the dots. All the strange wiring issues in his house, the unexplained noises, the way objects moved on their own. She began to realize these weren't random incidents. They were signs of whatever the family had been living with for years. And then came the night captured in this clip, filmed while she and her ex were separated.
It's just something. What?
This wasn't the first time something happened, and definitely not the worst. She later talked about an incident involving his sister. One morning, the sister woke up to find her puppy dead, and every single plant in her house completely withered overnight. And when she herself was still living with her boyfriend, she experienced nights where the entire atmosphere of the house would change. Sharp cold spots appearing out of nowhere, doors creaking open even after she locked them, and shadows moving in corners where there was nowhere for shadows to be. Some nights, she said, it felt like something was walking from room to room, checking on them. And now that she's out of the relationship, she believes whatever was attached to the family has turned its attention toward her. Many call it a jumper, something that doesn't just haunt a single house or a single person, but moves. It attaches itself to whoever comes close enough, feeding off the conflict, the stress, the emotional chaos, and following them even after they leave. Whether it's because she spent years around it, or because it chose her, she doesn't know. But based on this footage and everything she's described, it seems like whatever was haunting that family isn't quite done with her yet. In this next video, two friends were at home, hanging out and playing games when they started noticing strange things. It started in the hallway, something that made both of them glance up from their game even though neither wanted to admit they saw it. Moments later, the chair in their room suddenly moved on its own, and that's when it hit them. Whatever they sensed in the hallway, it didn't stay there. People online are divided about what exactly was happening here. Whatever was in that hallway was watching them, reacting to them, and eventually stepping into the room with them. So, was it something intelligent, or something that simply didn't want to stay in the hallway anymore? You decide. The following footage was recorded on the first floor of West Hill Manor in Burlington County. a location already known for its long history of strange encounters. According to the group investigating the home that night, every single person was on the 3rd floor when this happened. No one was downstairs, no one was even close. Watch closely. If you look toward the doorway on the right, you'll see it, a strange mist drifting across the frame. And then, just seconds later, a loud bang was heard from the 3rd floor. This is where things get interesting. It almost looks like the mist moves upward, as though whatever it was slipped out of the 1st floor doorway and traveled straight to where the sound happened. Many viewers immediately connected the two events, suggesting that the mist wasn't random environmental interference at all, but an apparition transitioning between floors. Some believe this might be a spirit that's aware of the investigators and is trying to make its presence known by traveling through the house and manipulating its surroundings. But the biggest question remains, was this mist responsible for the bang, or did it go upstairs because of the bang, as though reacting to something else entirely? Either way, the timing is too close to be ignored. Whatever moved through that doorway wasn't supposed to be there, and it definitely wasn't ordinary. I'd love to know what you think about this one. In this next clip, Ruger's mom was lying in bed when the strangest thing happened, something she genuinely couldn't explain later. Take a look at this, and listen closely.
Okay.
Her mom is clearly reaching out into the darkness, waving as if she's responding to someone standing right beside the bed. And if you listen closely, you'll hear a soft voice whispering, "Mama." According to Ruger, that voice sounds exactly like her sister's voice, the sister who passed away back in 2017. This is where the debate really begins. Some viewers believe this was a moment of comforting visitation, that her late sister might have been reaching out, maybe checking on their mother, and the mother somehow sensed her presence. They point out that the mother's reaction seemed gentle, not startled. Others believe this could be something entirely different, something mimicking the sister's voice. Mimics are known for using familiar voices to draw attention or interaction, especially during vulnerable moments like sleep. The way her mom reached out without hesitation makes some people wonder if something wanted her to respond. Then there's the idea of sleep state sensitivity, where people in half-dream, half-awake moments are more open to the supernatural. Some say her mom could have been in a liminal state, aware enough to react, but relaxed enough to perceive things most people wouldn't. But I'll leave you to be the judge on this one. Now, in this next video, the popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his deep dive into one of Nebraska's most notoriously haunted locations, the Argo Hotel. And this time, the moment he stepped into one particular room, something sent him running. This wasn't just any room, it's the one rumored to be haunted by the spirit of a woman guests claim likes to brush against people while they sleep, almost as if she's checking whether they're awake, or if they're alone. Even Ian, who has seen more than most of us ever will, couldn't stand the room, but after catching his breath, he went back in.
There is proof that this hotel is ridiculously haunted. Alright, I should at least shut it off, shouldn't I? Don't want to waste the water. Oh god, okay. Don't mind me. Coming in. The freaking beat scared me. I'm sorry, bud. I'm gonna have to cut you off here. How do you explain that? How do you explain that? I am speechless. I don't even know what to say. Other than, I'm leaving a freaking camera in here. And I'm getting out of Dodge. That's all I know. Thank you. Alright, so I've got a spirit box here. I'm gonna walk around this whole entire floor and see if I can get any responses.
He spoke calmly, trying to communicate, trying to see if whatever was there would respond. A few moments later, he suddenly began hearing something.
Whoever's responsible for the phantom music in here, I'd love to hear some more of it. Could you place them in this room? Why is that spinning? Wait a minute, that thing wasn't even on. Why is it spinning? What the heck? Dude, this thing is freaking spinning on its own. And you can tell it's not even on because look at it, it's slowing down. Oh, what the heck? That is so freaking bizarre. And now look. It completely stopped. How do you explain that? Like, legit, like what just happened? If this fan was on, it would literally be spinning continuously. And if you look, let's see, are the switches on? Nope, they're both down. So what the heck just happened there? Oh, Jesus Christ. What the hell was that? Dude, this room is crazy active. Those other rooms were completely silent, but this room, not this room. What the heck was that?
Every minute he spends inside this hotel keeps pointing to the same conclusion. This place isn't just haunted, it's active. And whatever's in that room seems more than willing to let him know he isn't alone. For more haunting videos, including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following video was captured by a family late at night, just after dinner, while they were spending some quiet time together in their living room. Nothing unusual was happening. No tension, no fear, just a normal family winding down for the night. But what they captured on camera has since left many viewers unsettled. Watch closely.
No manches, mira, no. Tranquilo. No mames, güey. Ah, su máquina, no manches. Súbanse. ¿Qué es eso, cabrón?
According to the family, they've been dealing with a disturbing pattern of activity for quite some time now. Objects move around the house without explanation. Strange, shadowy figures have been spotted just outside their front door, often at odd hours of the night when no one else is outside. But the most terrifying part is the knocking. Every single day, without fail, one of the doors in the house gets knocked on. Sometimes the knocks are faint, slow and deliberate, like someone testing to see if anyone will respond. Other times, they're violent and aggressive, shaking the door so hard it sends the entire household into panic. What makes it even more unsettling is that the knocking doesn't follow a pattern. It doesn't matter who's home, what time it is, or whether the house is completely quiet. It happens anyway. And no matter how quickly they check, no one is ever there. For now, the family continues to live in fear, unsure of what's causing these relentless disturbances. And until more answers come to light, this remains one of the most unsettling cases we've seen. In this next video, a man encountered something truly terrifying while walking alone through a forest. At first, everything seemed normal, just the sound of footsteps, rustling leaves, and the quiet isolation you'd expect deep in the woods. But then, he noticed something was off. Watch closely. Now in this next clip, a security guard shares footage from his workplace that left him shaken. During a routine shift, he saw something moving. Look closely at the rug.
Look at I saw that shit. I saw that shit. See, I saw that shit. And I'm like, and then it disappeared over there by the desk. And I'm like, okay. So I looked at the camera. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna calm down. So I wanted to tell the camera, y'all see that shit? Y'all saw that shit, right? I'm telling CHA, did y'all see that? Okay.
In the lower right corner, a white figure can be seen moving across the rug. What makes this incident more disturbing is that it didn't end there. In the days that followed, the guard says strange things started happening around his workspace. He arrived one morning to find a cabinet door wide open, one he's certain he had closed before leaving. On another occasion, the phone on his desk began moving on its own, sliding slightly as if someone had brushed past it. Individually, these events could be brushed off. A draft, a loose hinge, a vibrating surface. But taken together, a visible figure crossing the floor, objects being moved, doors opening, it starts to feel less random and more deliberate. Almost like whatever he saw that night didn't just pass through, it lingered. Some believe this could be the spirit of a former employee or someone connected to the building replaying familiar routines. But until more footage or updates surface, what exactly walked across that rug and why it chose that moment to reveal itself remains a mystery. In the following video, a man named David opens up about a series of disturbing experiences that have completely shaken his sense of safety inside his own home. At first, David believed the activity was centered around one specific object, a doll he owned. According to him, the presence attached to it didn't feel aggressive at first, but distressed, emotional, and almost desperate. On several occasions, David claims he heard a voice coming from the doll, repeatedly crying out the name Daniel, almost as if it were calling for someone who never came back. Some viewers believe the voice may be asking for forgiveness. Others think the spirit is reliving a traumatic moment, trapped in a loop it can't escape. One night, desperate for distraction from the growing tension in the house, David sits down to watch the sitcom Friends. But even the familiar laughter of Joey and Chandler doesn't help, because suddenly, he hears a voice. Watch closely.
Está inquieta. Suki. Saben que me duermo así por el calor que me da. ¿Escucharon? Ese me... Pues tiene como miedo. Ay, no. Otra vez, otra vez. Otra vez la pinche ventana. Siempre muestro para que vean que no hay nadie. Nadie, ni nada. Y está bien inquieta Suki desde hace rato. ¿Qué pasó, mamá? Pasan de las 2 de la mañana apenas. Yo no sé qué pedo. ¿Vieron cómo se abrió la puerta, no? Tiene que abrir así. Suki. Suki. Ven, mi amor.
This time, the voice loudly shouts David's name. What makes this even more unsettling is the behavior of his cat. According to David, it's been extremely restless, freezing in place, staring into empty spaces, reacting to something David can't see. When David goes to check the window, he sees something absolutely terrifying. A creepy, unnatural-looking figure appears to be standing outside, and moments later, he hears someone knocking on his door. According to David, this isn't the first time. He claims this is the 4th face he's seen around his home. One of the most frequent and most disturbing is the face of an old man. Have a look.
1:56 de la mañana. Me desperté porque sentí una mirada en mis sueños. Y me han dicho que no me intente comunicar con ellos. No quiero preguntarle quién es. Yo me duermo con la tele encendida. Alexa, luz del cuarto blanco frío. Se escucha así por el ventilador. No hay nada.
If you watch closely, you can see something that clearly resembles an elderly man moving. David completely loses it when it appears the figure might be trying to stand up, as if it's about to come closer. adding to the fear, many viewers reviewing the footage also noticed something near the window. This detail only intensifies the situation, suggesting David may not be dealing with just one presence. But many viewers still believe everything leads back to the doll. They speculate that the doll may have acted as a doorway, allowing multiple entities or manifestations to pass through, each presenting itself in a different form. So viewers asked David to show the doll, and where he kept it. Take a look.
Bueno chicas, bueno chicos, para los que me pedían que querían ver la muñeca en los lives, acuérdense que hago lives casi todos los días, jugando videojuegos de terror y tal. Entonces, me pedían que enseñara dónde está la muñeca. Este es mi cuarto donde trabajo y todo, al igual que en el otro, que es este de aquí. Es aquí. Pasó de ser cuarto de invitados a ser el cuarto de la muñeca, ¿no? Entonces, para los que me estaban diciendo que la grabara y todo eso, aquí está. ¿Sangró más? O no sé qué carajo sea eso. Yo ya no pienso que sangre, sino miren, hasta se le escurría por los ojos y todo. Los que sepan de esto pues ya sabrán lo de cómo regresó y todo. No le hagan caso a eso. Eso lo tengo porque acuérdense que trabajo para YouTube y tal. No le hagan caso. Hace ratito grabé algo y así está. Y me dicen que lo pusieron en el Salmo 92. Ahí está. Lo leí y todo eso. Pero cada vez que se entra a este cuarto pues sí se da como mala vibra y todo. Sí se siente un ambiente pesadón. Curioso, las hojas empiezan como a doblar. Ya vieron, deberían de estar así parejitas como ahí, pero solo de ese lado como que se doblan. Entonces, pues pasó esto, de ser un cuarto de invitados, está ya una tele y todo, a ser el cuarto de la muñeca. Y a veces trabajo aquí, lo cual es más jodido porque siento como que la presión de eso, pero en fin. Para los que querían verlo, ahí está. Chido one. Vámonos que aquí es spa. Ven. Por eso cuando me dicen en los directos que haga tal cosa y demás, y yo siempre muestro así todo porque luego no faltan los sonsos que dicen, ay, es que hay alguien escondido. ¿Y dónde hay alguien escondido? ¿Dónde? Estos son cables que tengo aquí de mouse y de cosas que no uso. ¿Dónde? Aquí hay cajas que tienen porquerías que no usamos. Mira cómo está la Biblia. ¿Vieron cómo se movió? Estaba acá. Y para los que me dicen que la queme o que la rompa o algo así,
David reveals that he locked the doll inside the guest room, securing it in a cage. On top of that, he placed a Bible over the cage in an attempt to contain whatever might be attached to it. But while he's still explaining how he managed to subdue it, the Bible suddenly falls off. And worse, the doll has changed position. David says many people have advised him to burn the doll, others suggest burying it. But he's also been warned that trying to get rid of objects like this can make things far worse. There are countless stories of people attempting to destroy haunted dolls, only for them to reappear. So if you were in David's position, would you destroy it, or keep it locked away and hope nothing else comes through? In this next clip, a guy heads back to his studio late at night after realizing he forgot his phone charger. What should have been a quick in and out trip turned into something far more unsettling the moment he got to the entrance. Watch closely.
¿Qué les dije? ¿Qué les dije a la verga? Miren, voy a entrar. Miren, para que vean que no hay nadie adentro. Todo en una toma. Perdón con mis 20,000 vueltas, pero es una llave de seguridad. Miren. sea, no ha salido nadie, miren. No mames.
According to him, things in the studio haven't felt right ever since he moved an old mirror into the bathroom. Almost immediately after, he began noticing small but disturbing changes, objects not being where he left them, strange sounds echoing through the space, and an overwhelming feeling that he wasn't alone, even when the studio was empty. But the mirror isn't the only thing raising eyebrows. Viewers were quick to point out the presence of a doll inside the studio, insinuating that the mirror might not be the cause at all, but merely the trigger, disturbing something that was already there. So is the mirror the doorway? Is the doll the vessel? Or is there something else tied to the studio itself that's finally making its presence known? I'll leave this one for you to be the judge. Now in this next clip, popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his solo investigation at the infamous Squirrel Cage Jail, officially known as the Pottawatomie County Jail in Iowa. This time, Ian makes his way up to the 3rd floor infirmary. And by the name alone, the infirmary of an old jail is a place no one wants to spend time in. This was where sick, injured, and dying inmates were brought, often too late for help. So when Ian steps inside, he immediately notices a drastic drop in temperature, the kind of cold that doesn't just chill the air, but sinks straight into your bones. And then, something happens. Watch closely.
And now it's completely gone. How do you explain that? No way. No way. I just heard footsteps. Hello? Who's up here? Holy crap, what is going on up here? What the heck is that? Oh, shh. What the heck is that? Oh, shh. It sounds like two people talking now. Sheriff? Is that you? Are you talking with your wife? What was that? Oh my god. Something just moved. Look. I gotta move this door. What? Oh my god. I just saw that cabinet door shut by itself.
Just seconds earlier, the cabinet was wide open, but now, right in front of him, the cabinet door closed. In locations like this, sudden temperature drops and object manipulation are often considered signs of intelligent activity. And in a place like the infirmary, where so much pain and fear once lingered, it's hard not to wonder if something here is still watching. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following video was captured by a man inside his own home, but to understand why this moment matters, you need the backstory. At his workplace, he began noticing strange things happening around him. Objects would shift slightly when no one was near them. He'd hear unexplained noises he couldn't trace to any machine or coworker, and at times he swore he heard familiar voices calling out, voices belonging to people who weren't even there. At first, he tried to ignore it, but then it escalated. He started feeling something brush past him, then push him. Sometimes he'd hear the sound of footsteps running behind him, even when the space was completely empty. Coworkers suggested stress, imagination, and many who believed him warned he was paying too much attention. But when experiences start turning physical, is it so easy to stay calm or dismiss it? After a few months, the activity followed him home. Watch closely.
I'm trying to lay down, and these damn lights won't stop going on and off. And I'm the only one here currently. And all my damn cabinets are open. And my remote for the lights are over there. And they just won't turn off. They just won't turn off. Yo, what the f is that?
What makes this unsettling is the pattern. Many believe when unexplained activity moves from a workplace into a personal space, it suggests attachment rather than coincidence. Some argue this is how negative entities operate, slowly escalating, testing boundaries, feeding on fear and attention. Others believe it could be a human spirit, one that's not necessarily malicious but enjoys provoking reactions, pushing limits just to see how far it can go. If it's something darker, the goal may be harm, but if it's something human, it may simply be to disturb and intimidate. So what do you think? In this next video, a guy who's normally focused on gaming and making music finds himself dealing with something far more disturbing. For weeks, he's had the constant feeling that something is in his bathroom, not just a sense of unease, but the unmistakable feeling of being watched. What makes it harder to dismiss is his cat's behavior. The cat refuses to enter the bathroom, often freezing in place and staring into it for long stretches of time as if tracking something the camera can't immediately see. Animals reacting this way is often what pushes people to start taking things seriously. One night, after feeling that same presence again, he decided to leave his camera running. Have a look.
Oh my god, bro. I just seen the craziest shit. Look, over there. Over there, I just seen the craziest shit. Look! Oh my god. What was that? Oh my god. Oh my god, what is that? I'm like shaking right now. What is that? Look it. Watch, it's gonna do it again. It's gonna do it again. Look at that! Nah, bro.
At first glance, some people are quick to say it's staged. Maybe a friend hiding, maybe a prank. But if that were the case, the cat should remain calm, and this wasn't a one-time incident. According to him, this figure has shown up repeatedly over the past 2 weeks, always briefly, never fully revealing itself, and always in the same area. That kind of consistency is what makes this harder to brush off. So the question is this the start of something he needs to take seriously before it escalates? Or do you still think it's all carefully planned? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Now, if you've been following this channel for a while, then you'll definitely recognize this house. The 263-year-old colonial home, known for its creepy attic and disturbing doll collections, is a place many viewers have gone as far as calling one of the scariest houses in America, and it's not hard to see why. Over the years, the owners have documented a long list of unexplained activity, apparitions moving through rooms, heavy footsteps when no one else is inside, disembodied voices that seem to come from nowhere, and even their cat reacting in ways that suggest it's watching something invisible move through the house. This time, she decided to go back into the attic. The same attic with the door marked by deep claw scratches, marks that have never been properly explained. Have a look.
Definitely a little late with doing this because I don't want to upset the girls, but it is time to take off their little Santa hats and store them away for the year. I'm very, very sorry. And somehow the door is still open and I need to grab the gift and the tree. Chain check. I feel bad. Maybe I'll put like some Valentine's decor or something up in here. And I'm actually going to put the chain over here just for ha-has to mix it up a little bit. We all heard and saw that, correct? Oh my god, I feel like I gotta get out of here. Alrighty.
That sound was unmistakable. It wasn't settling wood or a random creak. It was the sound of a door moving. With the long and troubled history of this house, moments like this have sadly become almost normal. Some paranormal researchers believe that in homes this old, spirits don't always stay confined to one space. Some are thought to roam freely from room to room, while others attach themselves permanently to specific areas, like the attic. And according to her, every time she goes up there, she's overwhelmed by the same feeling, the sensation that someone is standing directly behind her. But the attic isn't the only place where strange things happen. Have a look at this.
I just had one of my little manifestations come true, and I just realized it right now, and I wanted to share that with you guys. I'm not going to share what it is because it's kind of personal and a little specific, but you guys know that I'm obsessed with all things manifestation, all things journaling. If you're not journaling already, you need to be journaling as if you are already your future self. I wanted to show you guys my new journal. I always have a few going on, but do you like it? Wonder what that could mean. Stay tuned.
While she's calmly talking about journaling, something she uses to ground herself, the candle above her begins to swing on its own. What makes this moment especially unsettling is that this isn't new. It's happened multiple times before, and she's almost grown used to it. But here's the part she can't explain. It's always the same candle, no drafts, no open windows, and none of the other candles in the room ever move when this one does. Whatever the explanation may be, the activity in this house hasn't slowed down. If anything, it feels more consistent, more aware. And until something changes, this colonial home continues to live up to its reputation as one of America's most haunted houses. Now, in this next video, a man was in the middle of remodeling a house that dates all the way back to the early 1900s. The kind of place where every wall, every staircase, and every hidden corner has seen generations come and go. While working inside the house alone, he experienced something that still has people arguing about what really happened. Watch this.
The heck is that? Hello? Who is it?
At first, many viewers assumed the simplest explanation, that the phone had been dropped and the man himself was the one spinning it. But that theory quickly falls apart when you listen closely. You can clearly hear him coming down the stairs, breathing heavily, moments after the phone begins to move. There's no way he could have been in two places at once, which raises the question, if it wasn't him, then what was touching the phone? Homes this old often come with long, complicated histories. Over the years, they've been places of celebration, loss, illness, and sometimes tragedy. Some believe renovations can disturb whatever energy has settled into a house over decades, almost like waking something that's been dormant. But until more updates are shared, and until the history of that home is fully uncovered, this chilling moment remains a mystery. In the following video, a guy starts noticing that his camera is picking up things he never sees with his own eyes. And what makes this especially interesting is that he considers himself a skeptic. He's gone back through the footage multiple times, trying to debunk it, looking for reflections, camera glitches, or anything that could explain what's happening. Have a look. He was fully awake when this was recorded, and at no point did he notice the light flashing on the picture frame. Yet on camera, it's clearly visible. According to him, nothing in the room changed while this was happening. There was no shift in airflow, no movement, no electronics nearby that could reflect or trigger it. From a paranormal perspective, some believe unexplained light anomalies like this could be manifestations of energy, brief visual disturbances that cameras can capture more easily than the human eye. Of course, skeptics argue it could be something far simpler, a dying battery, an unnoticed reflection, or a camera artifact. So is there something in his room that simply needs its battery changed? Or could this be something paranormal? You decide. In this next clip, a group of paranormal investigators enter an abandoned house, a place that's been left untouched for years. But almost immediately after stepping inside, things start to feel off. Doors start closing on their own, not slowly, not from a draft, but with enough force to make them stop and look at each other. At first, they try to rationalize it. Old houses shift and pressure changes, but that explanation falls apart when they notice something far more unsettling. Watch this. Some believe whatever's inside was warning them that they had stepped into its territory, making its presence known in the only way it could. Others think the activity was meant to lure them deeper inside, drawing them closer for reasons unknown. Whether it was a warning or an invitation, one thing is clear. Until more updates from this investigation are shared, whatever was in that house and why it revealed itself remains completely unsolved. Now in this next clip, popular Midwest ghost hunter Ian continues his solo investigation at the infamous Squirrel Cage Jail, officially known as the Pottawatomie County Jail in Iowa. Built in the late 1800s, this place has a long history of overcrowding, isolation, and suffering. But one of the most disturbing sections of the jail isn't where hardened criminals were kept. It's the juvenile detention area. This is where children were once held. And over the years, countless visitors and investigators have claimed that the spirits of those children never left. Ian enters this section with one clear mission: to confirm whether those rumors hold any truth. Watch closely.
There's little children still hanging around here. Could you move one of the toys in one of these cells? Maybe if I sit down, I'll be less intimidating. You don't have to be afraid. I just like to make friends with you, and I just want to let you know that you're not in trouble anymore. You can go if you want. You're not in trouble. I thought I heard a little voice over here. Hello? Who's in here? Thought I heard somebody. Oh my god. Those mannequins keep scaring me. Well, seems pretty quiet in here. I thought I heard for sure. It sounded like a voice, like a little child in here. I'm gonna have to enhance it and see if a voice recorder picked up on it.
Some believe spirits of children are more likely to linger, especially in places where fear and isolation were constant. So was it a residual echo from the past? Or was it something far darker using a childlike voice to draw attention? Whatever it was, Ian didn't provoke it. It came to him. And in a place like the Squirrel Cage Jail, that's usually not a good sign. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following clip was recorded by a guy named Kyle, who's been dealing with something deeply unsettling in his home. For weeks now, he says he's been hearing strange noises coming from his crawl space every single night, and not the kind of noises you brush off. Some nights it's low growling, other nights it sounds like giggling voices, almost like children playing where no child should be. One evening, he decided to crawl in there with a camera to finally see what was going on, and this is what he captured.
Should not have come here. What the f is that? Look. I'm stuck. I'm gonna try to get out of here.
The harsh grunt, the growls, that haunting, childlike cry echoing in the distance. And if you look closely, it almost seems like there's someone, or something, standing at the far end of the crawl space before shifting out of sight. Viewers have been debating what Kyle encountered. Some believe the mixture of growls and childlike sounds suggests more than one entity in that tight space, something darker paired with something mimicking a child's voice. And a few people pointed out that crawl spaces are usually spiritually dead zones, quiet, forgotten corners of a house, which makes the idea of multiple voices echoing in there even more disturbing. Whatever those sounds were, they weren't normal, and they definitely weren't random house creaks, but I'll let you decide what you think is hiding beneath Kyle's home. Now, this next clip was recorded by an explorer who decided to spend the night inside a house that locals swear is haunted. He'd already heard the stories, voices in empty rooms, footsteps that follow you down the hall, and objects moving when no one's around. Still, he wanted to see it for himself. Around 5 a.m., long before sunrise, he suddenly started hearing unexplained knocks echoing through the house. Watch this. People who've experienced hauntings say knocking is often the first sign that something is aware of your presence, and is testing how you'll react. And then there's the belief that knocking inside a haunted house is usually a warning, a way to send a message that you're not alone and you're not supposed to be here, especially in a place known for previous visitors reporting the same thing, knocks with no visible source and always at the exact same hour. So was someone trying to communicate with him? Was he being warned? Or is something else living in that house reacting to his presence? You decide. In this next clip, another group of explorers decided to check out an old abandoned school, the kind of place where every hallway feels frozen in time, and every empty classroom looks like the kids left decades ago and never came back. They were there mainly for the architecture and the eerie silence, and while filming, they had no idea they'd captured something far more unsettling than peeling paint and dusty desks. Have a look. Right there, at the end of the hallway, an apparition that looks like a little girl. It wasn't until later, while reviewing their footage, that they realized what they'd actually caught on camera. Some say kids' apparitions are rarely what they seem, and although it didn't follow them, didn't move toward them, didn't even acknowledge them, the idea that something was silently standing there the entire time makes this clip one of the most chilling discoveries they've captured so far. Now, this next clip is about a lady named Morgan, who's been dealing with a string of unsettling, unexplained events inside her home. For weeks, she's complained about strange activity, lights flickering at odd hours, doors opening slightly on their own, and small objects shifting places when no one was near them. At first, she thought it was electrical issues, until the noises started. So she installed cameras around the house hoping to get answers. Here's what was captured. Right after she posted this footage, Morgan said the noises suddenly stopped, but the lights didn't. They flickered again the next night, this time before she even turned them on, and that's where the mystery begins. The following clip is a follow-up video from Sydney and her sister Gretchen, who rented an Airbnb for a wedding weekend, and ended up getting much more than they paid for. In their previous clip, they documented several strange things happening inside the house, objects shifting on their own, sudden movements near the stairs, and their dog refusing to stay away from that area, sniffing, pacing, and staring like something was standing right there. But the strangest moment was when Sydney slid her phone under the locked basement door, and something yanked it out of her hand. So before they checked out, they asked the host for permission to finally open the basement, just to make sure it wasn't a rodent or something harmless that grabbed her phone. Watch.
Yeah, I don't know.
She posted the clip online asking viewers what they saw, and some people claimed they heard a voice whisper, "I don't like you." Others pointed out something chilling. Inside the basement closet, there was another door, and instantly, people started wondering, what if something was hiding in there the entire time? Then, when Sydney turned off the basement light, viewers noticed something even stranger. Something standing there in the dark where nothing had been seconds before. Sydney left that basement without the answers she was hoping for, still confused, still unsettled, with more questions than when she went in. And just when they thought they were done with the place, something else happened before checkout that made them draw their own conclusion about that Airbnb. Watch this.
Let me see, baby.
They left traumatized, especially after remembering what one viewer commented under their first video. She said she recognized the Airbnb because of the carpet pattern and claimed someone had died on those exact steps. Whether that's true or not, nobody knows. But until more guests come forward with their own experiences, this one still remains completely unresolved. In this next video, a mother named Adrienne Dakota shared a clip that genuinely shook her because of what she noticed only after replaying her security footage. One afternoon, while checking her indoor cameras, she spotted something inside her living room, something hovering right around her child's playpen. At first, she couldn't make out what she was seeing, so she zoomed in, replayed the moment, slowed it down, but the more she looked, the more unsettling it became. Now, what makes this even creepier is that Adrienne had already been documenting strange occurrences in her home, and for whatever reason, these incidents always seemed to involve her children's toys. But this time was different. Watch.
Some of you are saying that you cannot see what I'm talking about. It took me a good minute when my sister showed me, but once I seen it, I couldn't unsee it. So just to kind of make it easier for you, because I know you can't really zoom in on TikTok, I will repost a shortened version for you so you can see exactly what I'm talking about in both spots.
Whatever that was, it clearly wasn't a pet. She doesn't own any cats. And her 2 dogs? Both were right there in the living room when this thing appeared. Her baby was in the room too, sitting only a few feet away when it happened. To Adrian, this didn't look physical at all, but until she drops more updates, or until someone can identify exactly what was caught on camera, this one remains a mystery. This next clip is from someone you've definitely seen on this channel before, Rosanna. Her situation is one of the longest running and most unsettling cases we've ever covered. She's tried everything, spoken to multiple paranormal experts, cleansed the house more times than she can count, changed rooms, changed routines, but instead of getting better, things only escalated.
Ça marche pas. Ça marche.
Just imagine dealing with that kind of terror every single day. The sounds, the shadows, the constant feeling that something is standing right behind you, watching. Rosanna has since moved out of the building, but she's still releasing old clips, evidence she recorded during the worst of it, hoping that someone out there might finally recognize a pattern or have an answer she hasn't tried yet. She's separated, raising her kids alone, and fighting a battle she can't even see. And the hardest part? Every solution she's tried only brought temporary calm, a short moment of peace before the next wave of activity crashed back in. Until she finds something, anything that truly works, Rosanna's case remains one of the most disturbing and mysterious stories we've followed. Now, in this next clip, the popular ghost hunter Ian continues his late-night exploration deep in the Minnesota woods, heading straight for an isolated cemetery that locals whisper about constantly. It's been called one of the most haunted places in the region, and tucked inside it is something the town refers to as the glowing grave. At 2 a.m., armed with nothing but his flashlight and camera, Ian walked toward that grave and immediately tried to communicate with whatever might be lingering there. And that's when this happened.
If there's anyone that haunts this gravesite, could you show yourself somehow? I heard that this grave glows in the dark. Could you show me this phenomena? I'll shut off my light. If this grave glows, could you make it light up right now? Whoa! Holy crap! Dude, I just seen like a light float by that tombstone.
A glowing spirit orb suddenly floats in front of the old tombstone, without explanation.
Did you just appear? I'll take my light away again. If that was you, could you appear like that again? Oh my god!
Once again, he captured that same mysterious glow. Only this time, it was brighter, clearer, and much harder to dismiss. Some viewers believe these could be the phantom glows people have been reporting around that cemetery for decades. Small bursts of light that appear around certain graves and vanish when approached. But Ian's night didn't end there. While he was still investigating, something else happened.
Could you do that one more time? Oh, whoa, whoa! What the hell was that? Could you do that one more time? Oh, whoa, whoa! What the hell was that?
Suddenly, the fence begins rattling by itself without reason.
Oh, whoa, whoa! Oh, whoa, whoa! Oh, whoa, whoa! That sounded like the fence. Did you just rattle this fence? If that was you, and you just rattled this fence, could you do it again? Whoa. Holy moly. Dude, this is crazy. This fence keeps rattling.
The cemetery fence began rattling on command, and this pretty much proves he wasn't out there by himself. For more haunting videos including Ian, subscribe to the channel now. The following video was recorded around 3 a.m. by a guy who struggles to sleep at night, so he usually keeps himself busy until the exhaustion finally kicks in. On this particular night, he was watching TV like he always does, but when he stood up to head to bed, he suddenly felt something. Watch this.
What's up?
What the f? Did you hear that jingle then? You hear that jingle? That definitely moved. What the f is going on in this house? And my cat as well just keeps doing this. My cat just keeps walking around meowing, which is also freaking me out. So weird. So weird. Are you here to hurt me? Are you here to do me harm? Are you friendly? Whoa, what the f? Nah. Nah, f off. No way. What the f? No, man. No way that just moved. Loki? Loki? You need to get out of my house, whatever you are, whoever you are, you need to leave. You need to leave right now. I don't know what's going on.
The moment viewers saw the African mask hanging on his wall, the comments section exploded. People wanted to know where he got it, how long he'd had it, and whether its presence lined up with the strange activity he'd been experiencing. And the more he talked, the more everything started to make sense. He revealed that he's owned the mask for a year, but it had only been inside his home for a couple of months. And ever since then, he'd been hearing noises while lying in bed. Light taps, distant footsteps, soft shuffling in the hallway. At first, he ignored it, but now it's escalating. Another morning, around 4 a.m., wide awake again and unable to shake the uneasiness, he finally decided to make a video for everyone begging to see the mask up close. Watch.
Anyone's got any opinions on this after they've seen it up close? What kind of mask it is? How old it might be? No expert. But what the Well, that's not freaky, is it? Jesus Christ. Sake. I'm tripping over stuff now. Hello? Hello? No. Everyone's been saying, why have you got the lights off all the time? The landing light does not work, right? There's no bulb in this light. Because usually I ain't shit scared of going upstairs. But I'm doing this because I just want to try and prove to you all there's nobody in the house but me and whatever the this is with me. Oh! Oh my god! Oh, fucking hell. There was a figure in the window. There was a silhouette in the window. There was a silhouette in the window. Oh my god. Oh my god. Why are you doing this? Huh?
After that clip surfaced, his viewers began sharing their own experiences with similar African masks. Some claimed the masks brought them sudden waves of bad luck until they removed them from their homes. others said their once quiet house became strangely active and unsettling the moment the mask was hung up. Many urged him to get rid of it before whatever was attached to it got comfortable. And here's where things get even more intriguing. In many African cultures, traditional masks aren't just decorations, they're spiritual artifacts. Some are used in ceremonies to honor ancestors, summon spirits, or protect the tribe. But others serve as conduits, symbols meant to channel ancient energies, often tied to rituals outsiders may not fully understand. If a mask like this was once used in a ritual or belonged to a lineage of spiritual significance, it could carry an imprint, a presence. So the real question is, does he just have an artifact on his wall, or did he unknowingly bring something ancient into his home? In this next clip, two friends were on their way home after a party. They were still laughing, still hyped, and decided to record a quick video to send to the friends who couldn't make it, just to show them how the night went and how chaotic the party had been. But while filming that harmless update, they ended up capturing something entirely different. Have a look.
Got my son in the back seat. Shut your You ain't getting no ice cream! Why do you scream like that? No. Hello? Hello? I don't like that. Did that one her? Grab the phone. What the heck? Did we just catch a paranormal Grab the phone. I'm not doing this no more. Grab the phone. I'm trying. Don't leave me. What do you do? I'm about to fall on my face. No, I'm not. No! No, do not. Door. Is it still recording? Yes! Oh my god, it's me.
Now, here's where things get strange. The exact moment they screamed, the car's light suddenly went off. But could there be a normal explanation? Some people think so. They argue that loud vibrations inside a car can loosen wiring or cause an already faulty light to flicker. Maybe the timing was just a strange coincidence, but others aren't buying it. They point out that the light didn't dim. It cut out instantly, like something interfered with the energy around them. Some are convinced they might have stirred up something they couldn't see, something that reacted the moment their voices spiked. So did their screaming disrupt the car light, or did they unknowingly catch a paranormal moment on camera? You decide. Now in this next video, a woman named Jennifer Ricks stumbled upon an old clip her daughter recorded about a year ago. Before finding this video, Jennifer had already been dealing with strange things around the house. Moments where she'd be sitting completely still, home alone, and a dark shadow would walk past the hallway like it had somewhere to be. Her dog, normally calm, also barks at odd hours of the night, sometimes staring into corners as if watching something move. But she never connected any of it. Not until she saw this clip. According to her daughter, the moment she was filming, it felt like someone was trying to take a peek at her from behind the door. That quiet, unsettling sensation of being watched, the same feeling Jennifer herself had dismissed for months. And when you put this clip side by side with all the strange things that have been happening in the house, it's hard not to understand why Jennifer now believes something is truly off. But the real fear isn't what they've already seen, it's what might come next. If this presence has been around for over a year without them realizing it, what else has it been doing that they haven't noticed yet? Until more updates come in, this one remains completely unsolved. The following footage was taken by a man's home camera, and what he later saw still stuns him to this day. Have a look.
You want to see something weird? I have the blink camera and the poltergeist static. Now I know that nobody is home. I check back on the footage and I see a light turn off downstairs. But there's nobody home. Nobody home. Nobody home. Very weird, but a very, very good capture. Check this out. I mean, people could be like, oh, well, there was somebody down there, and I wouldn't post something like that, right? This is crazy.
The craziest part of this footage is that you can clearly hear the sound of the light switch being flipped. That sharp, unmistakable click that only happens when someone physically touches it. Your first thought might be an intruder, right? Someone wandering through the house without his knowledge. But that theory falls apart quickly when you know the other things he's shared. Objects in his house have moved suddenly without explanation. A few times, items have even fallen on him, as if pushed, and more than once, he's caught faint laughter echoing from this exact same room. Soft, almost playful, but definitely not human. Viewers who analyzed his older clips pointed out something else. Strange-looking dolls and toys scattered around the room, some with faces that look unsettlingly worn or distorted. He's never addressed their origin, but people can't help but wonder if one of them is tied to whatever's going on. So when you take everything together, the laughter, the objects moving, the eerie toys, and now a light switch flipping on its own, the idea of an intruder becomes the least likely explanation. It feels more like something has made this room its space, something that doesn't mind being heard, and now doesn't mind being seen. But in the end, I'll leave it to you. What do you think he's dealing with? Having a home camera is like having an extra pair of eyes watching the moments you never even knew were happening. And that's exactly what happened in this next clip you're about to see. Watch. The camera suddenly detected movement, followed by loud banging and knocking that seemed to come out of nowhere. The owner of the house said it felt like something was there, something she couldn't see but definitely could hear. That's why she decided to share the footage online, hoping other people might catch something she's been missing. So take another look. What else do you see in this clip? In this next clip, a man and his son went to check on a storage unit where he keeps all his fancy collectibles and strange antiques. But lately he's been convinced something malevolent is inside that unit. Objects shift on their own, and even the employees have reached out to complain about loud crashes and bangs coming from his space. They even invited him over so they could show him the clips themselves, and confirm whether he was anywhere near the facility when those sounds were recorded. But he wasn't. And that only made his suspicions feel a whole lot more real. But the staff didn't believe him at first, so he decided to prove it. He set up cameras inside the unit. Watch.
But just watch the video for yourself.
After he posted this clip, viewers swarmed the comments warning him to never take the cursed monkey doll home. This doll, which cost him nearly $2,000, has a history he didn't know about until it was too late. From the moment he brought it into the unit, the activity escalated. Wherever this doll sits, things fall, objects slide, and even heard from people that once owned something like it that it might be tied to old ceremonial practices, or that the doll was once used as a vessel in rituals meant to house wandering spirits. Whether any of that is true, well, that's up for debate, but one thing is certain, he's never carrying that doll home.